In this video, I'm going to show you how we can use n8n and a scraping tool to scrape a bunch of leads and then find a decision maker for that company. This has been extremely crucial to my agency to help us scale to over 100k per month. And by the end of this video, you should have the full step-by-step process on how you can build this and implement it for yourself, so you can start sending cold emails to thousands of leads every single week. Okay, before we get into exactly how to build this, let me show you how it works. So over here, we have a form where we will put in the type of leads that we want. Let's say I want real estate leads. The location is Ireland. The number of leads we want is 10. We can change this to 100 or 1000, and my email address, and we click submit. After we submit that, it's going to trigger this n8n workflow, and over here it's going to take in all of the information on that lead that we want, and it's going to initiate this scraper in Amplify, and that's going to scrape all of the web to find all of them businesses within these parameters. So within Ireland and real estate, it's going to find all of the domains within them. After it finds all of the websites, it's going to come up here, and now we need to find the actual decision maker's email, and that's what this node is going to do. It's going to find the decision maker's email, it's going to output it to this AI agent, and with all of that information that we have, we're going to create a cold email for them. So you can see we have Claude and Perplexity over here. So it has the right tools. Claude is going to write the email, and Perplexity is going to research that person and their website, and is going to craft a cold email in which we can send to them, and it's going to store it over here in Google Sheets. If you go over here and look at my Google Sheets, you can see we have the person's name, their email, their company name, the website, and the cold email for this person. So it says, "Hi Brian, I noticed Donegal Cottage Holidays handles bookings and inquiries for guest communications across multiple properties. I've built an AI setup that replies to guest inquiries, handles bookings, and logs everything automatically." So you get the general idea. So without further ado, let's firstly get into exactly how we can build this. So we're going to start off over here in n8n, and we're going to start with an on form submission. And to get that, you're going to come up here and search up form, and we're going to use this n8n form. And in this form, we need to create all of these fields. So industry, location, number of leads, and your email. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to select call the form lead finder. We're going to make the first name industry, and that's going to be a text element. We're going to make the second one location, and that's going to be text as well. We're going to make the third one number of leads, and that's going to be a number field. And the last one, your email, and we're going to put in the person's email here. So you can make this a text field and put in an example here so the person knows what to do. You don't really need this field, but just for future reference, maybe just keep it in. After the form is submitted, then we need to trigger this Amplify scraper. This is going to scrape all of the domains for the leads that we are looking for. So in order to get this Amplify scraper, we need to come over here to the Amplify store. If you don't have an account, obviously log in and come up here to where it says Amplify store. Then over here, we are going to look for the Google Maps scraper, and you can see here we have a bunch of them. For the one that I'm going to use, we're just going to use the first one. It's the most popular one, it's obviously the best one. So we're going to click in here, and we're going to use this scraper. Now you can see the amount of things we can put in here. So we can put in stuff like search terms, which is letting agents, that's the person, maybe the lead that I'm looking for. We can put in location, and we can also put in the amount of leads that we're looking for, and that's exactly what we have in our form. So if we were to run this, if I was to come in here and press start, it would then go ahead and run this scraper for me. It would output leads in this format in which you can see all of the companies, the names, and it will give us a URL to their website. Now this is exactly what we need to use over in n8n, and to use that, we need to come back out here. We need to come in here where it says input, and we need to put in test information over here. So put in just anything, maybe letting agents, you can put in marketing agencies, whatever. Put in a test location and put in a test number, and when you have them in, come over here to where it says JSON and copy this. So we're going to copy all of this. We're going to come back over to n8n, and we're going to look up Amplify. So I'm going to come up here, I'm going to look up Amplify, click in here, and we're going to select this one, which is run an actor and get a data set. So if we select this, it's going to open up our Amplify account. In order to connect your account, just come in here, press connect, and you can press connect account. It's just going to ask you to log into your Amplify. Very straightforward. And now you can see we have resource as actor, run an actor, and get a data set. That's all going to stay the same. For the actor source, we're going to use the recently used actors, and if I click here, we can choose the actor that we most recently used. Mine is the Google Maps scraper, so I'm going to use that one. And in here for the input JSON, we're gonna copy this JSON that we just did, copy that, bring it over to n8n, and we're gonna drop it in here. Now in this JSON that we just pasted in, as you can see, we have Ireland, we have the amount of searches or the amount of leads that we want to scrape, and we have the information like the search string of the type of business that we want to find. Now we don't always want to keep it like this. We want to make it dynamic so it uses whatever the form outputs. So in order to do that, I'm going to come back out here. I'm going to trigger this form by just clicking this, put in some test information like maybe test industry, location, let's say London, number of leads 50, maybe 30, and email, submit that, and now we are going to be able to use the information from here. So I'm going to click back in here, I'm going to come back down to the place where we just put the JSON, and I'm going to get rid of Ireland here, and we're going to use whatever the person put in the form. So as you can see over here, we have the location from the form. I'm going to bring that over and drop that into the location query. For the amount of leads that we want to scrape, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to come over and put in the number of leads from the form. And then lastly, from the type of industry that we want to scrape the leads from, I'm going to come over here to where it says this, and I'm going to put in the test industry. So you can see that one here, drop that in here. And now this is completely ready to go. I can click out of here, and if we run this now, it's going to scrape all of them leads and output some details for us. So I'm going to do a test right now. I'll disconnect this, and let's do a quick test. So I'm going to fill out this form. Let's say I'm looking for marketing agencies. Let's say Texas. Number of leads, let's just do 5, and my email is this. If we submit that, it's going to go through here, and as you can see, the scraper is now running. And whenever this scraper finishes, it's going to output a bunch of leads for us. Okay, so you can see now this scraper has just finished, and if we click in here, you can see we have all of the information on the businesses that it just scraped. So we have the category name, which is marketing agency. We have the name of the company up here, which is Palm Marketing. And as we go down here, we have the URL to their website, and which we can use in the following node. So we have all of the information on the business, like their the street that they're on, their opening time, their website, their phone numbers, etc. And that's enough for us to get the business owner's email. Now, one thing you must notice is if we come over here and we go to the table section, you can see we don't always have the information that we need. So if we make this smaller, you can see some companies, we outputted 5 companies, and some of them don't have an address, or some of them may not have a website or something like that. And that's why the following node has to be a switch node. So I'm going to connect this Apify up here, and it's going to be connected to a switch node. And to get that, you're going to come up here, press switch, and you're going to drag that down. Now in this switch node, we're going to put in 2 different types of switches. The first one is going to be if the website exists, then it's going to choose this route. If the website doesn't exist, then it's going to choose this route. And to get that, we're going to come over here, look for where it says website. You can see the website down here. I'm going to bring that over, drop that in here, and I'm going to select the string exists, and it's going to choose that route. And we're going to do the same here for the website, and this time it's going to be string does not exist. Then you can see we have 2 options here. For the first option, the one that we really only care about, whenever the website does exist, it's going to come up here, and we're going to trigger this node, which is going to find the business owner's email. And to do that, we're going to use a HTTP request. In this HTTP request, we're going to use this URL, which is an email finder. This is the second software that we have to use. So in order to get an email finder, we're going to come over here to where it says an email finder. So let's look up an email finder. We're going to select this one, which is an email finder. And to kind of show you how it works, I'm going to put in my company, which is workreadyai.com. And if we search that company, find emails, you can see it outputs the business owner's email, which is me. And that's exactly what we're going to use this. Now, if you don't have an account for this, you can set up very easily. They even give you I think they give you 100 credits for free. So you can test and look for 100 business owners' emails. And they don't charge you if they don't find the email. So you don't actually get charged for that. So, yeah, whenever you set that up, then you can come over here to an email finder, sign up, and you'll get 100 free credits. And down here, we need to come down here to where it says API, because we need to use the API. We're not actually going to use the software. So come down here to where it says API and generate yourself an API key. When you generate yourself an API key, we're going to use that later. But in order to start with this, we need to go down here to where it says documentation, and we need to use the one which is find a decision maker's email. So I'm going to come in here, select find a decision maker's email. It gives us right away the URL that we need to use. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come back over to n8n and I'm going to place that in here. And you can see the method we have is post, and that's because if we come over here, it says to use the method post. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to come down here, and it gives us the exact code that we need. So I'm going to come in here, press copy. I'm going to come back over to n8n and I'm going to input a curl, paste that into here and import. Now it has all of the information that we need. It's asking us over here for the API key, so I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to come back over to n8. I'm going to come back over to an email, and as you can see here, we have the API key that we just created. And I'm going to copy this, bring it back over, and drop that in here to where it says value. And down here, we need to put in the domain of the company that we want to find the owner for. So in order to get that, I'm going to run this scenario here so we can get the information. And I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to come down here to where it says Microsoft.com, and we're going to get rid of this one. We're going to want to find the decision maker for the website that we get from the Apify scraper. So I'm going to bring that over and drop it in here. Now this is going to find the decision maker of the companies that we've just scraped from Apify. We can do a quick test right now and we can check with all of the information that we have. So I'm going to run this, and it's going to use information that we've just got from Apify, which is marketing agencies in Texas. And this should output all of the decision makers for them agencies. So you can see it just finished up now. If we click in here, you can see we have the email and the email status for all of them companies. So we have email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4, and email 5. And we have all of the information about them, like the person's first name, their job title, like president, founder, CEO, etc. And the personal LinkedIn of that person. Now that's enough information to feed over to this AI agent to create a cold email. So the next stage we're going to use is a filter, and in this filter we're going to put in whenever the email exists, then pass through and create the cold email. And this is just to allow only whenever the email exists. So if the an email finder came back with null or no email or couldn't find an email, then this filter is going to stop it from passing through. After we create that filter, we're going to put in an AI agent, and to get that you come over here to where it says AI and use the AI agent node. In here is where we are going to give it the instructions for creating a cold email. So the first one down here is the system prompt, and this is basically the brain of the type of cold emails that we want to create. So you can see here I say, you are an expert cold email crafter. Write a short, to the point, fluff free, no jargon, no corporate words cold email to the user. Use the perplexity tool attached if you need to do some more research on the person and website to get better personalization. Here's an example cold email, and we just give it an example here, like, hi, first name, I notice your team at company name handles a lot of specific processes. And then we say, I've built an AI setup that replies to leads, books appointments, and logs everything automatically. No extra appointments or staff needed. Would you be open to a 5-minute chat? And then we sign off the email here. The reason I give it this example is to narrow it down so it kind of follows a general template when creating these cold emails. If I didn't give it this, then each email would be completely random and it would say just completely random stuff. Now, after we have that system message in, we're going to come up here to where it says the user's message, and we're going to give it all of the information that we have. So in order to get the information, we're going to just run this so it has the information. And we're going to come back over here and we're going to say, here is the user's email, and we're going to get that from the filter, drop it in here. We're going to say, here is the user's name, which we will get again from the filter. We'll just pull this over and drop that in here like so. We'll also say, here is the user's website, which we will get from the filter again, called domain. We'll bring that over and drop it in. We'll say, here's their role, bring that over, drop it in, and we'll give it their LinkedIn as well, and we'll drop that in. Now this is ready to go, and if I execute this step, it should output a cold email over here for us. So you can see now, after we have executed that step, it's using the perplexity tool to look up the lead, review their LinkedIn, their website, etc. And whenever it's finished, it's going to output a nice cold email for us. We can see in here, after it has finished, it outputs the cold email, which we can see over here in the table field. It says, "Hi David, I noticed Palms BM handles a lot of inbound leads and outbound campaigns for your tech clients, plus all of the follow-ups and nurturing to come with it. I've built a simple AI setup that replies to all leads, books appointments, and logs everything automatically." You get the general gist. It outputs the cold email first, and it does that for all 5 leads. Now, one thing I didn't go through is which chat model and how to connect Perplexity. So in order to connect your chat model, come down here to where it says chat model, click in here, you will get to choose a chat model. For me, I choose Anthropic, and we use Claude 4.5 as it just seems to be the best cold email writer. And then for the tool, like Perplexity, come down here and select tool and come in and connect up your Perplexity account, and then choose all of this. You can keep all of this the same and choose set automatically, message a model, and use the Sonar one. If you wanted to get more deep research, then you can choose one of these better models, but for me, I think Sonar is fine. And then for the text of the messages to send over to Perplexity, we're going to use this button here where it just lets the AI agent decide what to do. So I'm going to click this here, and then all of this is completely done. And then again down here, the same thing, we're going to click here to let AI simplify the output. After that is done, the next node that we need is a Google Sheets node, and it's just going to be append a row in the sheet, and that's essentially where we're just going to add all of the emails over to Google Sheets. So firstly, I'm going to come over to Google Sheets, and I'm going to create a table which has the columns name, email, company, URL, and opening email. So I'm going to create a new sheet and show you how I do that. So I'm going to say name, email. What else do we need? We need name, email, company, URL, and cold email. Name, email, company, URL, and cold email. Now to make this look a little neater, I'm going to just come over here. I'm going to do this and press format and convert it to a table, and then we have a neat table like that. And if we come back over to n8n, we can come up here, press Google Sheets, append a row to a sheet, and in here is where we're going to find the sheet that we just created. So I'm going to come up here, all of this is going to stay the same. We're going to append the row, and we're going to choose it from a list. I'm going to choose the Google Sheet that I just made, which is scrape YouTube vid leads. I'm going to choose the sheet that I just made, which is sheet 1, and in here we're going to map each column. So you can see here we have to map in the email of the person, the company, the URL, and the opening email. In order to get that, we need to obviously let the AI agent run. We'll get all of this information from the AI agent, and then we're going to come over here, and we should have all of the info like you can see here. So firstly, for the person's name, we're going to click this filter drop down and put in the person's name. So put in his name here, drop that over. Do the same for the rest of these fields like email. Come over here, get the email and drop it in here. Get their company, the URL, and then for the opening email, we're going to come up here to the AI output, and we're going to bring that over and drop it in here. And that's basically this workflow completely done. But the last thing we need to do is we need to create this one down here, in which we can just come up here, copy all of this, and then paste it down here. And when we paste it down here, we'll connect it up to here, and this is going to be for whenever we don't have a domain. And it's essentially going to be the exact same as everything before, except this time we're going to come in here, and instead of putting in the website, which we have in the previous one, so up here we have the person's website, as you can see there. Instead of that, we're going to come down here and we're going to put in the title. So from this scraper, we're going to put in, as you can see up here, the first one, which is title. And that should still be able to work, although putting in the website is a lot more accurate with an email. If we put in the title, it still may work sometimes. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work, because we're not going to get charged if it doesn't work. But if it does work, then we'll still be able to get the decision maker's email just from the title of their company. We're going to keep all of this information the exact same as this one up here that we just copied. We can click save, and now that's completely ready to go. And when we run that, it's going to come up here, do all of the stuff that we just did, and then over here on our Google Sheet, we'll have a row like this of all of the businesses that we've just created, and the cold emails for them. So you can see it says, "Hi Brian, I noticed Donegal Cottages, blah blah blah." It goes on to speak about exactly what we put in the cold email. Now, if you found that useful, be sure to leave a like and let me know what type of videos you want to see next. If you want to start your own AI agency and scale it to over 100k per month, like what we've did, then click the first link in the description where you can join my AI automation community.